Once again, good morning. By the way, I am Alea Estrogeni, one of the reporter. At this very moment, I'm going to discuss the continuation of Chapter 6, which is the Methodological Principles. In addition to the preceding characteristics of the developmental approach, TROP offers the following specific guidelines or principles for practice, which help clarify how the approach is to be used. It simply means a guide kung unsaon paggamit sa approach o principles kung naana ka sa specific field na na-assign ka. Number 1. The overriding consideration in the formation of a group is that all its prospective members share a significant common interest, concern, or life situation. In forming or sa pag-create o group, it is essentially needed nga tanan prospective members share a significant common interest, concern, or life situation. If at all, gamay na lang nga information ang need sa group formation. Basically, mao dyan yung first thing to consider sa pag-build sa group because if ever they didn't have this mutual problem, a group would be senseless. Number 2. When the group is formed, the worker comes to some agreement with the members about its purpose, function, and structure. So, when the group is formed, here comes the worker nga mag-impose siya agreement with each member which is about sa purpose, function, o structure nila within the group. So first, let's define what is purpose. Operational purpose or purpose according to TROP answers the question why was the group formed or organized or why are we here? Kining purpose is the moment where ang worker mag-inform sa real purpose nga nang na-form or na-organize ang group and also ma-clarify sa members, clients, ilang sudden appearance in that specific group. The second one is function. Addresses the question what are the group members supposed to carry out its purpose. So sa function, diri ma-determine ang specific role or position sa members whether sa counseling group, an activity group, or action group ba siya na belong. TROP contents, it dili clear ang worker about sa function, therefore walay mabuhat ng meaningful activities ang group. Lastly, the structure. Addresses the question where does the power for decision-making reside? Moreover, sa structure, diri ma-clarify where does the power of decision-making reside. There are structural patterns that tends to clarify ug aha or kinsa jud ba ang capable sa decision-making. Letter A. All authority is vested in the leader. Like sa leader lang ba? B. The self-governing group including elected officers or at least a chair who conducts the meeting. Sa mga elected officers sa group or at least the one who conducted the meeting. Letter C, in between A and B. Or letter C, maybe in between sa leader of officers. Number 3, regardless of its purpose, function, and structure, the developmental group will go through a beginning, middle, and ending stage. Each of these stages involves specific experiences and tasks on the part of the members and the leader or practitioner. Beginning stage, members or group. Number 1, become oriented to the new situation. It is really needed nga ma-aware sa worker ang each member sa new situation nga ilang gisudlan. Number 2, identify reasons for joining in the work they will be doing. Dapat clear pod sa members nga nung ni-join sila, then ug unsa mga butang nga buhaton nila in the whole process. Number 3, experience doubts, fears, or enthusiasm. It's normal nga maka-experience of doubts, fears, or enthusiasm ang members because naa pa lang sila sa beginning stage sa process. And we should not invalidate those feelings they have. Leader or worker. Number 1, clarifies purpose, function, and structure. So sa beginning stage pa lang dapat na-clear na sa leader or worker ang purpose, function, ug structure aron smooth ang dagan sa process. Number 2, establishes an agreement to proceed. Sa beginning stage po is dapat maka-establish og agreement ang worker to avoid any conflict. Number 3, supports early efforts of group. So dapat first pa lang jud na anay support og efforts ang worker to build bond and trust among the members. Number 4, facilitates climate conducive to unity or cooperation. It's definitely needed nga maka-facilitate og unity or cooperation ang leader una pa lang, kay maka-help ni nga mahimong productive ang members or the group as well. Number 5, facilitates supports task selection. Dapat ang leader or worker is number 1 nga mahimong support system sa tanan, kay siya man jud ang maka-socialize pirmi sa client or members. Middle stage, members or group. Number 1, more open expression, greater involvement by members. In the middle stage, ang member is more open na sila sa ilang expression and they have greater involvement along with the members. Number 2, greater acceptance of the value of the experiences. Naa sila acceptance when it comes to experiences that they tend to hear or witness among the other member. Number 3, authority, roles, and statuses involved. Sa middle stage, present na jud ang authority, roles, and statuses nga dapat masunod sa members. Number 4, greater stability and cohesiveness. So this means na stable na interaction ang members to build good relationships. Leader or worker. Number 1, guides group toward goal. So i-guide sa worker ang whole group towards sa ilang gina-aim nga goal. Number 2, clarifies tasks completed and tasks still to be done. Dapat ang worker is i-clarify niya ang mga tasks nga nahuman o sa mga wala pa to continue the progress. Number 3, provides continuing support to enable group to be self-directing. So dapat ang support sa worker sa group is continuously to lead them to be self-directing. Number 4, helps group to work within time frame. Dapat ang worker is tabangan ang group nga magtrabaho within sa time frame and not to push them nga mahimong irresponsible in working hours. Number 5, helps group assess gains and implications of approaching termination. Ending stage, members or group. Group shows varying degrees of task completion. Bale, ipakita sa group ang degree sa ilang task completion to inform and aware the worker. Number 2, group shows varying levels of satisfaction from task completion. The member shows satisfaction sa ilang mga nahuman nga task. Number 3, group shows some frustration, anxiety about ending and separation from members, worker, agency. Dili jud mawala ang feeling of frustration, anxiety tungod sa na-build nga bond between sa member, worker, agency. Somehow, it was hard for them to separate or ending it. So, bali normal lang yun na siya. Number 4, group feels relief and happiness, accept reality of ending. Other members also feels relief and happiness o maka-accept dayon sa separation because they are satisfied sa result of progress. Leader or worker. Number 1, helps group to complete its task. All throughout sa process, maujud ang goal sa worker na tabangan niya makomplete ang every task sa group. Number 2, helps group to evaluate the total experience. Ang worker is i-evaluate niya ang whole experience sa members along sa process to check if they have learned from it. Number 3, helps group to see remaining gains and problems. Also, a worker always makes sure basin they're still concerned na wala na address.
I am Apple J. Martillian and I am BSSW3A and this is my topic. Development approach. The worker has three basic areas of operation. First is the group goal achieving process, interpersonal relations, and individual self-actualization. Group goal achieving process. The leader or worker initiate engage the group in the goal achieving the process of deliberation, decision, and action in the course of behavior, the group attitudes and behavior, and the reactions to each other. The group goal achieving process, such goal converted into program, content of the group experiences during the sessions and can be in the form of counseling, activity, and or action. So that sa kini nga mga activity is naagyo leader or practitioner kay para ang mga member is naay path to follow the rules or to follow kung unsay buhaton or part nimo sa kanang activity, action, counseling, or etc. Interpersonal relations. Intergroup members' engagement with each other, they pursue their common goal, they are involved in two forms of behavior. First is instrumental behavior. These include such instrumental interaction or behavior as supporting and accepting others. For example, support friends, family, professors and colleagues will celebrate your success and help you learn from your failures, providing the encouragement that you need to meet each challenge with determination and positive attitudes. Next, opposing and restraining others, hunting opposition and restraint from others, engaging with others and resolving differences through assertion, compromise or yielding, submitting or rejecting appointed or elected authorities figures, and lastly, accepting others, following and carrying out specific individuals' tasks. Second is expressive behavior. They include expression of like and dislike, approval and disapproval, affection, concern for others, pleasure, interest, enthusiasm, apathy, fear, insistence, criticism, guilt, and hostility and blame. Next is individual self-actualization. TRAP underscores the point that the major gains in social functioning for individual group members in the developmental approach are derived primarily through the medium of the goal-achieving process. The worker most productive efforts are those that are invested in the group as a whole, which make for the gains in the social growth which individual members achieve, release, support, reality orientation, and self-appraisal. Individual self-actualization. The worker also reacts to individual action within the group, but obviously should be selective or individual behaviors that must be perceived and evaluated approach. The worker is not to get involved in prolonged relationships with individual members. The following criteria that can be used by the leader, worker, including which individual behaviors do not call for any special intervention. When the behavior is not interfering with the group goal achieving. Kung ang batasan daw sa isa ka member is dili kasagabal o dili sagabal sa paghimo o pag-achieve sa maong goal sa isa ka grupo. Second is when the behavior is being handled satisfactorily by the group. Kung ang batasan daw is sa isa ka member is ma-handle lang sa isa ka grupo. And lastly, when it's being handled by the members. The leader or the worker will also have determined whether manifested problematic behavior needs special attention. TRAP consider the following as three criteria or categories of problematic behavior. Those that hinder group efforts and must be handled for the good of the group. So, kung naday maghadlang sa pagpaningkamot sa isa ka grupo, is kailangan nga dili ni maguba ang plano ug dapat nga dili magpaapekto sa mga hadlang in order for that to achieve the goal sa isa ka group. Second is those that harm other individuals, and the third is these that create problems for the individuals who initiates them.
According to TRAP, The evaluation process relating to an individual's problematic behavior, and this approach consists of the following components: how the member sees behavior, how the group sees it, how it affects the group and the member, what the member appears to be intending to accomplish it, and what connection and related meanings can be established between the member's sanction and the context which the behavior occur. So, it state here na kaning evaluation process nag-consist of several components na makahelp in understanding o analyzing sa behavior sa isa ka tao. This refers to kanang perspective of individual and focus on how to perceive their own behavior. It consider their own understanding, motivation, o ang ilang intention behind sa ilang action. Nag-focus po ni siya sa group or community kung asa nabilong ang isa ka individual ug paunsa i-interpret sa ingon ato nga batasan. And also sa group, ang batasan nimo if maka-affect siya sa group as a whole, like maka-disturb na siya, then kana na behavior naghinder sa goal para ma-achieve. So, also by considering and understanding this evaluation process, makagain ang worker og comprehensive understanding of the problematic behavior, ang iyang cause and effect ana na behavior para makagain or makalearn og strategies paunsa i-manage ang behavior effectively. In indirect help, the worker uses the group instrumental processes by asking the group to recognize the worth of an individual contribution. So, ang worker is gina-acknowledge o gina-value niya ang mga contribution or participation sa individual para pod ma-boost ang moral o ma-motivate ang individual na mopadayon sa ilang nasugdan. Then, asking the group to use agreed limits with a member. So, mag-establish og boundaries or limits between sa member, then nag-set og expectation or guidelines for behavior nila or ang ilang performance para ma-ensure na sila tanan are same page lang to achieve the common goal. Asking the group to reflect back on how a member is involved in the goal-achieving process. So, ang worker ani is mag-reflect sa specific member if kanang actively engage or naga-participate to achieve the goal. Then, asking the group to look at individual behavior that facilitate or block the process. So, ang worker pod ani is nag-urge the group to examine individual behavior na posibleng babag sa kana nga progress or sa ilahang ginahimo na process to reach the goal. Direct help. The leader or the worker may give approval, encouragement, affection, concern, stimulation, empathic reflection, and clarification or confront member with role responsibilities, realities of the situation, and behavior. So, in the perspective of a worker or a leader, ginamotivate jud na nila ang ilahang member para ma-boost ang confidence. Naga-provide og emotional support and empathic reflection where it helps individual na makagain og insight, perspective to promote self-awareness. Clarification and clear communication pod is important para maliwanagan sila if how do you communicate or explain sa ilang tasks na buhaton. It also create a positive and empowering environment where the member feel valued, supported, and motivated to achieve their common goal. Trapp suggests resorting to some form of outside contact with the member if the indirect and direct help were not productive. So, kaning outside contact is if ang member mag-ask og non-related matters, mas okay if ang leader or ang worker is not to get involved ana na relationship. Instead, i-refer niya ang member to another na mas professional person. Trapp says that since self-direction is considered as the major means for both group effectiveness and individual gain, a feasible amount of self-direction should be feature of any group experience. So, according daw kang Trapp, self-direction is important for both success and
professional growth. Pero naay mga factors na naghinder or naglimit ani, such as abilities of group member, ilahang age, mga policies na nakaset, sa ano situation, responsibility pod sa leader or ang worker na mo take og lead og mag-guide sa ilaha. Trap words. The role of the leader is one of the literary empowering the group to take its own life in its hand in order to carry out its own plans, although proposals are needed to facilitate the process. So, ang role lang sa leader is to empower sa individual nga naa sa isa ka group to control their own destiny and make decision for themselves. Ang leader role is not to dictate or naga-control sa group but rather to facilitate their ability to carry out their own plans. Ang leader lang ang naga-empower sa group by providing support, guidance, and resources while also allowing them to autonomy to make their own choices. However, it is important to note that proposal or suggestion may still be necessary to facilitate the process and provide guidance to the group. So let's proceed to the Santa Lucia Mothers Group. The agency purpose. This social work group was formed because of the hospital's desire to provide opportunities for its poor client families to undertake activities that will result in improved health and family life. The hospital decision to venture into this new outreach program was stimulated by the Development Trust of Social Welfare in the 70s. The group program was initiated following the hospital social service department inventory of its services and the finding, among other things, that casework treatment, which has been its main helping mode in almost 2 decades, had not been very effective. So, ang hospital is nag-start na sila og new outreach program. Kanina idea was influenced by the increasing focus on social welfare in 1970s. The Hospital Social Service Department, nagkandak sila og evaluation sa mga services na na-discover nila na ang ilang approach na individual casework treatment kay dili kaayo successful sa past 20 years. So as a result, ang ilang department naka-decide to initiate a group program as an alternative way or providing effective assistance to their patient. Kay na kita nila sa kadugay nga panahon daw kay same client, same families ra gyapon ilang patient tungod ato nagaproblema ang hospital og financial burden kay nag-offered man ni sila og free medical service sa mga disadvantaged na families. The social work staff, with the leadership of its director, decided to change its emphasis from the one-on-one method to the group method of helping. So, naka-decide ang staff with the guidance of their director na i-shift ang ilahang approach from individual or one-on-one na method to group therapy. Kay they believe na ang cause atong problem is poverty, which is resulta ni siya sa societal circumstances mo nang nagsuffer ang mga tao. They come up to this idea para suportahan ang mga tao na nagpuyo ato na area. Kay in this way, ma-address ang ilang concern and problems and it would be beneficial for everyone na involved. The first social worker assigned to this group asked her co-worker to refer clients whom they believe could benefit from it. So naa sila criteria for looking a client. Motong 20 to 40 years old, then active caseload, unemployed and willing to participate in weekly session for 2 hours. Ang social worker naka-receive siya og 76 client na willing mo participate sa iyahang activity na buhaton. So, na-meet na sa worker ang mga mothers na willing mo participate on the food ration day, which is monthly event during which the hospital would distribute like mga powdered milk, flour, and others. So, during the first meeting that served as a group intake session, 52 lang kabuok out of 76 mother na nag-express sa ilahang interest in participating in a group program. So, nag-explain dayon ang worker na tungaon ang group. So, sa 52, which is 15-15 daw, mautong 15 15 ang ilang i-cater karong Wednesday, group na siya. Then ang 22 magpabilin for next na pod sila na batch. So let's proceed to the Wednesday group, purpose and program. So 15 mothers compose the first group. Maotong they knew each other naman, maotong ang worker kay went directly to discuss the group program. She informed them of the agency plan to help them improve their life condition. Maotong gi-ask po niya individually to share their concern and problem. And na-realize sa mga mothers na they are all kanang halos the same ang ilahang problem. Like for example, mga boredom with one's life and the desire to do something different once a week, and the need to meet other people and make friends. So after sa 2 session of sharing o nagdiscussion, they agreed na it would help them to meet regularly to address this concern. Motong mag-meet sila Wednesday at 2 to 4 p.m. Then the group deliberated and agreed to undertake the following activities, with the worker helping in their sequencing and in identifying resources that were necessary and could be tapped. Then number 1, market bag making project, hardware store for donation of cement bag. Number 2, basic sewing lesson, Santa Lucia Women's Auxiliary Board for free loan of sewing machines. Number 3, cooking demonstration, cheap but nutritious meals utilizing food ration ingredients, Nutrition Foundation of the Philippines for nutritionist lecturers. Number 4, sanitary health practices, hospital staff. Number 5, family planning, social work and a doctor and nurse. Number 6, community resources for livelihood and skill training. National Manpower Youth Council, Department of Social Welfare and Development. The worker told the member that she will attend the session and provide guidance and assistance whenever necessary. Pero gi-emphasize niya diri ang importance sa self-help. Gi-encourage niya ang mga member na magsalig sa ilahang own abilities o problem-solving skill. Through these mga activities, it also promotes self-resilience, empower ang member to think critically and come up sa ilang own solution para mo-grow pod sila while working in group setting. Market bag making project, hardware store for donation of cement bag. So the group implemented all its planned activities within 8 months lang. Then the member kanang using a letter of introduction na gi-signan sa worker, they are able na i-convince ang owner sa hardware store na i-donate ang ilahang used cement bag instead of selling them cheaply to a middleman. So after sa group ang group nag 2 session man sila para maka-learn og how to make market or shopping bags. So after 2 session, they agreed na i-divide ang donated bags among themselves weekly and to continue the work sa ilahang houses so their children kay makahelp pod sa money making venture. So nag-continue ang donation and many of the mothers reported na nakagain sila og kanang kwarta or income ato na project with the help sa ilahang children. The group was able to borrow 3 sewing machines from the Hospital Women's Auxiliary Board. The later referred them to a volunteer sewing teacher na gihatagan silang sewing lesson in 3 session. So after sa tulo ka session, namili na sila og kung kinsang tulo ka person or member na asa ipadayon ang ilahang sewing lesson. So nakapili na sila and this project that lasts for 3 months and the member continued to attend the weekly group session in the hospital premises. So ibalik ra pod nila ang mga sewing machine if mahuman na ang ilahang sewing lesson. So number 3, cooking demonstration. The group volunteer services from Nutrition Foundation of the Philippine nutritionists who conducted cooking demonstration in 4 session using their cooking utensil. So ang mga mother maka-learn og how to cook palatable dishes from food rations including pulveron, nutritious meals on the small budget. And the worker facilitated interaction among members and volunteers during activity session, providing brief counseling on various aspects of family life to individual member or small groupings. So, gina-encourage ug ensure niya na mo collaborate ug participate ang each member, nagaa siya og open-ended question para ma-encourage ang active listening among member and volunteers. So, by this interaction, maka-help ni to build strong teamwork ug maka-increase og collaboration. Workers play a crucial role in creating positive inclusive atmosphere where ang individual maka-feel o comfortable to express sa ilahang mga thoughts and idea.
During the activity sessions, the worker facilitated interaction among the members and also between the members and the volunteers. In addition, when not everyone was actually involved in a particular activity, the worker made herself available for brief counseling with individual members or small groupings of members on a varied aspects of family life. Sa mga session or activities na ginagawa na pakikugnayan sa mga members at sa mga volunteers is kapag dili tanan naka-apil sa kana nga activity na ilang gibuhat is naay isa ka tao o volunteer nga mag-counseling sa mga individual na members or varied aspects of family life. The worker conducted first session in health and sanitation with a doctor as a resource person in one session, and a nurse in another session. There were a primarily session that focused on personal hygiene, cleanliness in the home and its surroundings, and practices to prevent contamination by a sick person in the household. So ang mga worker daw is nag-conduct og session about health and sanitation, kauban na dinhi ang doktor, nurse, ug kini daw ang mga session is naga-focus sa personal hygiene, cleanliness in the home and its surroundings, and also to prevent contamination sa usa ka panimalay. The family planning session were informative and counseling session were held to 5 consecutive meetings. The worker conducted all the sessions by herself except for one session when she invited a hospital doctor to explain the mothers, based on their expressed interest, how tubal ligation and vasectomy are performed. So ang doktor is nag-invite og isa ka mother nga nag-explain nga mo explain about family planning. So ang family planning session nga ilang ginabuhat is naga-inform o gina-counseling session aron ang mga parents aron ma-prevent ang overpopulation sa atong lugar or country. Ang family planning is dakong tabang para maiwasan ang kapobrehon nga masinatian sa in each individual to our community. During the session on family planning, the mothers realized that they had many misconceptions about family planning. Rumors they have heard were clarified, their fear and doubts were explained. They were also to help to feel more comfortable in thinking about things like menstruation, menopause, and other sexuality-related concerns. A few were told go to the outpatient department for consultation with a doctor. During the session daw is nakaamgo ang mga inahan that they had many misconception about family planning. And also, mas na-clarified nila kung unsay tama about family planning ug wala nay kabalaka sa paggamit niini sa bisan unsang family planning method.
Evaluation, extension, evaluation. After 5 months, the group was very pleased with what they had accomplished. After sa 5 months, ang Wednesday group is na-pleased jud sila sa ilang na-accomplish. As they have evaluated, mostly sa members turn out nga daghan sila na-learn except atong other member nga daghan og absences tungod sa personal problem. The group, however, asked the worker for assistance in a final activity. Since they all came from the same area, they wanted help in putting up a health center with family planning as one of its main services. A health center was organized through group sessions, home visits, and office calls. 2 mothers group members would serve as receptionists and caretakers, while a medical resident, intern, and a nurse from Santa Lucia Hospital would provide consultations and treatment. The worker terminated service after 8 months. Onwards, everything is settled naman, nag-start na sila to provide services sa mga nanginahanglan. Bali, open lang ang center 8 to 12 every morning, 3 times a week. Nanguha po sila og mga helpers sa other centers, specifically sa mothers group. Only 2 person as receptionist and caretaker, bali rotational basis. Medical intern po sa Santa Lucia Hospital para sa medical consultations, family planning assistance, and simple medical treatment. Ang worker is nagplan nga i-terminate ang service after 8 months ug makita nila nga daghan na ang natabangan or they can stand on their own. The group ended with a merienda per grain where mothers received certificates. As they reached the end, nag-prepared sila og merienda per grain where the mothers received individual certificates of attendance tungod sa ilang actively participation. During po sa session, nag-discuss po sila bahin sa mga na-accomplish, even sa mga walang accomplish within sa health center. The worker discussed the implication of a lack of cooperation in the group, particularly for the health center which they put up through their own efforts and which was already benefiting the entire community. 5 leaders emerged from a group after 8 months, and a worker agreed to hold weekly follow-up sessions in the hospital for at least a month, welcoming all members to see. Moreover, ang 5 leaders emerged sa group after 8 months para mag-hold og weekly follow-up sessions for at least 1 month. The worker also announced nga she's free whenever they needed to do so.